about to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Let's go, let's be free with me. Be free. Not looking back, eyes on the freeway, Bonnie and
Hi guys, and welcome back to another update with the Liggins family. I'm Mariah Liggins,
I'm Travis Liggins.
and welcome to the Liggins family channels, where we do lifestyle videos, we do travel videos, and natural hair product review videos. So today is a different type of video that we are doing for you guys, so you won't see a whole lot of like editing or a whole lot of things, because today is just like a Q&A that we wanted to do for you guys. You might have seen a video. If you're not familiar with our channel, we did unfortunately suffer a loss in September of 2019. We had a miscarriage with our second baby. If you're interested in that journey and you kind of want to know what happened around that time, then you can definitely check our link below and above, because I'm going to link the video for you guys so you can see what happened with that. So today is just a Q&A. On our channel, we actually haven't talked about the miscarriage except for that one video. So we kind of wanted to do a video for you guys, just kind of telling you about where we are and how we feel about what happened. So we kind of have, and if you see me looking down at my phone, I have 10 questions that I kind of thought would be important and Travis thought would be important to share with you guys, so you can kind of understand like what we're doing and how we feel with everything. So we hope you guys enjoy this video. We hope this answers a lot of the questions you may or may not have. We also hope that this video is educational. We hope that people that have suffered loss, or maybe you haven't suffered loss, you just able to gain something from this video and what we're saying today. If you have some questions for us that we don't answer in this video, please make sure you leave a comment below, and we will write back to you guys in the comments. All right, so enjoy the video, and we're going to move right into question number 1. All right, you guys, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into the questions. So the first question that I have on my list is emotions. So we were going to talk about what emotions we have, even having to record this video right now. So some of the emotions that I have right now recording this video is, right now we're in January. If I would have recorded this video in like November, December, especially, no, October, November, I know I would have been like a bucket of tears. So it has taken a while for us to get this video up for a reason. I will say that, and that's just because my emotions, I know for sure, were kind of all over the place. One minute I was very sad and I was crying in the middle of the night. One minute I'm like, oh, okay, it happened, I made peace with it, but really I was lying. I was like going through an up and down battle, and really Travis was supporting me through that, but then I had to kind of remember he had emotions toward it as well, so I would ask him how he felt. So how to make this video is actually kind of still heartbreaking, because you know I had so many plans of content I was going to put out surrounding the pregnancy, and then when that ended, it almost felt like, you know, everything was snatched away so fast. Like we barely got to celebrate the pregnancy before it was like, oh, well, now you're not.
You know, when it happened, I think we both showed a lot of excitement, because, I mean, we technically wasn't really just trying, but we were really happy and excited about the possibility and for it to, happen the way that it did. And with it coming in an instant, it was really hard on both of us. And so I'm glad it may have been helpful to like have the video like immediately after what happened, but for us, we just kind of needed to get a peace of mind before we kind of talk about it. And now, I mean, a couple of months later, still I think feel a little sad about it, but I think we've got to the point where we knew, it was out of our control, and then that we'll just move forward as needed.
Right. All right, so the second question we have is, how do you handle people's awkwardness after loss? These questions too, by the way, if you're wondering where I got them from, I basically got them from YouTubers that have went through loss, and I kind of went through their questions that they use for their Q&A and kind of pulled out some of the ones that I thought were important to us. So that question is, how do you handle people's awkwardness after loss? So awkwardness is when people ask you stuff like, oh, I'm sorry for your loss. When are you going to try again? That's kind of like an awkward question to ask. I actually have had that question asked to me, or had people suggest like, oh, just try again, And when I first had the miscarriage and it was so fresh, that felt really hard to hear. And it came from a lot of people that were way older than me, and I'm not sure if like maybe those people that I know, maybe at that time when things like that happened, you just didn't talk about it. Miscarriage seems to have been like a thing that's like you don't discuss. And so it felt like oh, you fine, girl. You can just have another baby because you're young. I got that a lot. People was like, oh, you're in your 20s. It's okay, you're in your 20s. Just try to have another baby. It's not that easy for so many women. And I just encourage a lot of you all, please go get a checkup. Go ask a lot of detailed questions about your health, especially when it comes to trying to conceive. So that awkwardness was really uncomfortable for me to tell people to just tell me, oh, just go try to have another baby, because it's not that easy.
I think personally, I didn't have as many like awkward encounters and questions that I was kind of felt weird responding to. For the most part, I was getting sorry
Support.
for your loss. If you need anything, let us know. We'll be there to support you as needed. And that was pretty much what I got. It was just some people reminding, like, don't give up,
And
just because you had this miscarriage.
Yeah, that was very nice.
It's okay, it happens. And then we realized, how often it does happen.
Right.
And so we tried to kind of like understand that, it happens sometimes. And, if we wanted to try again, that we could try it again.
Yeah, and I don't know if, not trying to say men don't get awkward questions, but sometimes I feel like, I don't know if some people feel like, oh, we'll ask the woman all these really tough questions. So I don't know. Or maybe it's just the people you surround yourself around. I don't know, but hey, that's what happened with me though. Okay, so the next question is, were you trying to conceive? So we had a really detailed discussion about when we would like to try to conceive. We kind of thought about it'll be so nice for our kids to be like 4 to 5 years apart. More so, we kind of like the number 4 just because, I don't know, when you think about school, I guess, I don't know. How do we think about that? Like, want to be in elementary, want to be in middle. Like, I don't know. We kind of was fine with that age. And then we felt like 4 and 5 years apart. By the time we had another baby, Kyla would be going to kindergarten. So we wouldn't have to pay for daycare at the same time for 2 children. We thought about how she'll be more independent. So that means she's potty trained. She's feeding herself. She can make up her bed, tie her shoes. We felt like she was at the stage where she can fend for herself. So we was like 4 and 5. That's a good time to, okay, maybe we might have one more. Now, no shade to anybody that have children like very close in age or maybe even back to back. I know for us personally, we felt like, that was not what we kind of wanted, I guess. Because sometimes 2 under 2 or 3 under 2, sometimes I know that's a challenge. I know I got 1 and it's hard. So hats off to moms, all moms, that's just making it work like that. But we kind of wanted it spaced out. So, to answer the question, were we trying to conceive? The answer is yes and no. So, yes, because we were like, okay, if it happened, it happens. but no, in the sense of like we weren't taking like well, I was taking prenatal vitamins, but as far as like taking like some people use fertility storage vitamins or like pre-seed vitamins to help increase fertility. We weren't doing those things. I would track when we would be sexually active just because I do that anyway because I don't know, I'm a female and I have to track those things because of my menstrual cycle, so stuff like that. But hardcore, let's try, I can't say all the way yes to that. We just want preventing.
Yeah.
That's it. You got anything to add to that, Travis?
Not really. You said it straightforward.
Okay. All right. Were you using any vitamins? Yes, I was taking prenatal vitamins. To probably starting off in June was when I started taking the prenatal vitamins. We found out we conceived. Well, we found out we conceived at the end of August. My last menstrual cycle was July 27th, and we found out we conceived on August 23rd. So it was actually a pretty quick turnaround, and we were blessed in that sense because a lot of people try for years, and you know it's really hard. So we were really blessed when we conceived right away. Okay, so a tougher question: did you realize you miscarried before you went to the doctor? I know for me, I think I don't want to say in denial. I think I was really had this really jaded idea of what a miscarriage looked like. Like I thought you doubled over in pain. I thought you were really bleeding. I thought that miscarriage, I had this picture I painted of what a miscarriage looked like. So when things start happening to me, I brushed it off as oh, every pregnancy is different. Yeah. When I got pregnant with Kyler, which I'll do a separate video talking about her pregnancy and how that went, I had the first symptom was bleeding. That was the first symptom. And I had a little bleeding with Kyler, and I think I kind of tricked myself into believing that I had the same bleeding with Kyler as the second pregnancy, when no, I didn't. This bleeding was I'm on a period on my first day every day. And so I should have known, and it went on for, I don't know, almost 2 weeks. So I should have known something was happening. But to be honest, I didn't want to believe it. So my answer to that is no.
Yeah. Was that the 5-week checkup or 6-week checkup?
So I started bleeding in week 5. I told Travis in week 4. Yeah. I started bleeding in week 5, and I set up a doctor's appointment, and they told me to come in at week 6.
Yeah.
And we did.
So when we went in for the week 6 appointment, and we were telling them that she had some potential bleeding, and they had us talk to the specialist. I was like, for them to have us talking to this high risk doctor, and he was kind of explaining it in I don't want to say nonchalant way, but
he was
really straightforward. This could be you could potentially have a miscarriage. You just never know,
or you might not.
And you might not. And I was like, is it a percentage or any kind of way we know? And nope, it'll just potentially happen or not.
Literally gave us no comfort and wouldn't go over any signs or symptoms of what a miscarriage could look like. In his professional opinion, he didn't say, well, typically when I see XYZ, this is what kind of could happen. Nothing. It was your baby has a heart rate and you're good. Yeah. But it was low, and they didn't even talk about that. Travis can talk about that.
Yeah. But just overall, knowing the heartbeat per minute, I think for that particular child was 90.
It was 90, and that's
and that
low.
was pretty low.
It's supposed to be 100.
Yeah, the average is 120 and up, and so those are signs of me feeling maybe it may not happen, but I was just really hopeful and didn't really think too much of it.
And Travis never displayed those doubts to me, really. I don't know if he was doing it because he felt I don't want to ruin this because she still seemed happy about it. But I don't know. I'm just the type of person I'm not gonna really believe it until I really see that it didn't work. I always had this hope, even when signs aren't going well. I'm still always oh, you told me I had a miscarriage. Well, I need a second opinion. For example, when we went to our 8-week appointment for a follow-up, they told me that I had a miscarriage. It was called a miscarriage. Another thing I didn't know, there's several different type of miscarriages. There's chemical pregnancies. There's miscarriages. I had no idea. I thought a miscarriage was just a miscarriage. Like, I didn't know there was levels to this. And so when they told me that, I did not believe this woman. Like, if you watch our miscarriage video, and we kind of show you all the ultrasound of where there was an empty sac, I didn't believe her. I was just like, well, something's wrong with your machine, so we'll go to the emergency room. Like, for real. I was just like, okay, well, thank you very much. I was very nice to the woman, but this is my thought process in my mind. I was like, we'll see. When we went to the emergency room, we did 2 ultrasounds, and they took a long time. After the 3rd ultrasound, that's when I finally was like, okay, this didn't work out. Like, it took me that long to really accept it, because I'm always like, there's a fighting chance, you know, just, I don't know. This is just my personality. Yeah. That could be bad or good. All right, so our next question was, did you name the baby? So I at that time, I was using 2 different apps, one called Pregnancy Plus and one called Ovia Pregnancy. And when you get ready to download those apps, they ask you, are you pregnant? Of course, I said yes. Then it asked me, did I have a nickname for the baby? And I was thinking, and I couldn't think of anything that like fit. And one time a name came across my mind, and it was a name that I actually liked, and I wanted to keep it on the baby list of names. And I was, at that time, I will be very blessed with whatever baby we get, but I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of team boy, because we got Kyler. So I really liked the name Blue, but I felt like, that's just so predictable. I don't know. So I didn't really want to use Blue as the name, so the name that I came up with was Navy. Yeah, I really like that one.
I didn't know that she was thinking of the name of Blue, though. That was the name you were thinking of?
Not like to name the baby, but I thought of like how a lot of girl and boys are named Blue, and it's a unisex name, and I was like, well, what's a unisex name that means that color, which is like a symbol of male? I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I was trying to think of some kind of unisex name that was the color blue, and Navy was the next one that I really liked, and I actually liked that name on like a person. Yeah. So I was like, oh, Navy, that's so sweet. That's such a sweet name. And you don't hear a lot of people saying my name is Navy, so I picked that one. And I told Travis, and he actually liked it.
No, I didn't have any names.
Nah.
But when she said so Navy, early, I kind of just started using that too.
Yeah. Navy. So that's a sweet name, and it's unisex. What are your plans so the next question. What are your plans for trying again? So do you plan to have more children? You can start.
Well, I know at one point in time, Mariah, I think, well, especially right afterwards, he was like, no, let's just wait for a while.
Like
another year. I think she's more open now. With me, I always was like, I'm fine with it. I kind of like, I don't want to say that that's the bad way. I mean, like, got over it, like okay, to the point, like, okay, it happened. Life goes on. We have to continue to do what we have to do, and if we want to potentially have one again, we can, try. But
and
yeah,
Travis always positive like that.
Yeah,
he don't like to waddle in sorrow.
Yeah, I don't at all. I kind of like, oh, it happened. Let's move on.
Yeah, I'm always kind of like, that happened. Let me register it. I like remember it for some time. I need time to process how it happened, why it happened, and unfortunately, how did something happen? Why did it happen? And how can I resolve it and be better? That's just how I like process things. But when one of those steps is taken out of the equation, then it takes me a while to get over it. Like, how it happened, they couldn't tell us. Why it happened, we didn't get an answer. And how do you come up with a solution of how to do better? That's the unfortunate thing about miscarriages is you may never know what happened. The only thing they could tell us is maybe there was some abnormalities when it came to the sperm and the egg connecting or such. So for me, it took a little while longer because my processing is different.
Yeah.
All right. So, how did you handle telling people about your loss?
I didn't, because I think the video helped by like us not having to repeat the story over and over, and so it was helpful for me because I didn't have to repeat that story. So if people see me, they seen the video, they would just say sorry for the loss, and just trying to see how we're doing. I did, because I had to miss a couple of days, told my supervisor. And luckily, unfortunately, I have a really good understanding supervisor, and so it wasn't as bad for me, letting him know and sharing what happened with him. He was just, I just appreciate him being so understanding at that moment and at that
they
time
have a really
period.
great relationship.
We have a really good relationship. Friends, so I was good with that, and that's really the only time I really had to have that conversation. Outside of that, it's just like with my mom. We told her together, and just letting them know. They were sad about it. My mom especially was sad because she would really love to have another grandchild.
And she's been rooting for us
for
like 3 years.
Kyler it's her only grandchild,
and
so she would love to have another one. And she always talking about, I'm getting old now. I want more grandkids and all of that.
Yeah. And my mom, I'm the only child, so this is it for her. Like, if we only have Kyler, that's literally her only grandchild. Her only chance of being a grandmother. And so, for me, I couldn't even handle saying the words. So, I didn't include this clip on a video, but I did tell my coworkers about expecting, and I did it in a really cute way. I got them a box of donuts, and I wrote on the inside of the donut box, I said, I'm not, my mom don't want to be the only one getting fat, so eat up. And I put Baby Liggins May 2020. If I can find that clip, I might insert it. But if not, then you guys know the story. But yeah, I told them that way, and the whole office was so excited. And then I had to go to all these appointments, and I remember having to call my boss and tell her that things weren't looking good. So that was a tough conversation, but it wasn't so bad because my boss at the time actually had gone through the exact same thing. So she knew how this felt, and she knew how to sympathize. She knew what to text me back and say. She knew how to be very supportive at the time. So that helped me get through when it came to work. I'm not going to lie. Going back to work, though, after finding out, and then I was still carrying the sack around, I felt kind of depressed. It was a time or two I did cry at work. I didn't really want to conversate that much at work. Like, I kind of closed myself off a little bit. I'm introverted anyway, but so I don't even know if they noticed, but I was even more introverted, which I don't know, it got awkward. And I'm not gonna lie, I actually didn't even tell them. I told my boss and she told them, and I don't even know how she did it. And literally nobody asked me about it at work. Nobody said, I'm sorry for your loss. Nobody, except one coworker. But other than that, nobody talked about it that much. And it was tough. Yeah. And then telling my mom, I don't think I told my mom when Travis told his mom. I told my mom when I was leaving the hospital, after we left the emergency room. It's still tough. It's easier to talk about now, but it was tough. And the last question is, did you tell Kyler? And if you didn't tell Kyler, do you ever plan to tell her? We didn't tell Kyler. No. We didn't tell Kyler. Kyler had some suspicions something was going on because, for one, she's very smart and she's very verbal and she's going to speak her opinion. And so she did used to say things like, Mommy, is your stomach growing? I want you to have a baby. She would outwardly say that. And she went to school and told her teacher that we was having a baby. And me and Travis had never told her that ever. Not at all. Yeah. So we never just told her. I do plan to tell her, though, that when she grows up a little bit older, maybe, I don't know when. I'm not going to lie, y'all. I don't know when, but much older. The reason why that's important for her to know is because when she starts trying to have her own children, I don't ever want her to be confused about her history of what could I'm not trying to say this could run in the family, but I think it's important that she knows. And it's a lot of things that I've had to try to figure out on my own when it comes to like fertility, family history, medical history, because I have my own unique situation when it comes to that. And getting those answers is actually a bit more challenging for me. And seeking those answers, when I finally did get those answers, come to find out that is something that is more common than I knew.
One thing I would add is I'm actually glad that we didn't tell her.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Because it would have been hard for us to kind of have that conversation about why we're no longer having, not having another brother or sister or something like that.
Yes.
It would have been a difficult conversation to have.
Right, that's true. And like even now, like let's even if let's say the pregnancy would have continued, and I got to like 25 weeks and we had told her. Even then, we would have had to have a hard conversation. But I'm just glad right now we don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that is all of our questions that we have. If we didn't answer some of your questions, again, don't forget to comment those below.
Yeah.
And trust me, like, pretty much we would answer just about any question. I don't think there's anything anybody could ask us about this that would be, like, off limits, I don't believe. Yeah. So, definitely ask us questions. We would really actually appreciate those. Actually answering these questions help with the healing process. Yeah. So, I would say, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you like our content. Also, follow us on Instagram at Locked In with the Liggins. And thank you so much for joining the Liggins tribe.
Yeah, thanks for, like, hearing our story. If you have, if any of you have had a similar situation, whether that's in your lives or family lives, or, want to offer any kind of support or anything, definitely comment below. We would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you again for, really listening to our story.
Yes. Thank you so much. All right. Bye.
All right.